I'm a big girl now, Ken. I can get my own elevator.
Oh, come off it, Evelyn. We've known each other too long for this nonsense. Now, I won't let you turn me down.
For the last time, Ken, I'm not interested.
Well, at least let me give you some money.
Don't you understand? Quit meddling. Let me lead my own life. Once and for all, Ken. Leave me alone.
May I?
Insolent little manager, roughneck, manhandling a helpless widow. Her body isn't safe. After all, I'm a tenant, and if that manager doesn't make him apologize, well...
Happy baby. Use Pet Evaporated Milk. Made to give him all the nourishment he needs for healthy, happy growth. Nothing is better for baby's formula. Pure, digestible Pet Evaporated Milk.
I was just leaving court when Casey reached me. Lieutenant Weston wanted to see me at once about a girl named Evelyn Burnett. 2 hours before, she'd been young and alive. Now, she was another statistic for homicide.
That poor child. The moment I saw him strike her, I should have called the manager.
Thank you, Mrs. Powell. You've been very helpful.
Now, you be sure you nab him. He's a real hoodlum.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And you better put out an APB on his car. I don't know him, but I'll never forget that car. A great, big, enormous thing with lots of chrome and little dent in the side. And on the bumper, there was a great...
Mrs. Powell, the manager's in his office giving information to the sergeant. Wouldn't you like to join them?
Yes, indeed.
Right this way. A people watcher. She saw Evelyn Burnett arguing with a man minutes before she was shot. He disappeared naturally.
Well, why call me in? I haven't even heard of Evelyn Burnett.
So?
Herbert old man. Where'd you get this?
The dead girl's purse. She works for a firm of building contractors, Matson and Tyler. You know them?
Well, I know Arnold Matson. I've been negotiating a school contract for him with a client, a church group. This could be a tough break for Matson.
Evelyn dead? Why, I can't believe it.
Mr. Matson, do you know why she had my name in her purse?
No.
Could it concern my clients and their contract with you?
Well, I don't see how, Mr. Maris. We didn't begin negotiating until last Thursday. I fired Evelyn 2 weeks ago.
Fired her? Why?
Well, she'd always been a good secretary, top-notch. Lately, for some reason or other, she let everything slide.
Anyone else in the office who was close to her?
No, not really. Except maybe Ken. That's my junior partner, Ken Tyler. He said he was having lunch with her.
Where's his office?
Well, Ken usually works from his home, but he does have a desk outside. Yes, there he is.
Is that Ken Tyler's car out there?
Yes, that's it.
Batson, may I use your phone?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Really? Oh, well. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Oh, drat. Hello? Oh, Lieutenant. Yes, as a matter of fact, you are. I was doing something very important.
Well, I'm very sorry to have disturbed you, Mrs. Powell. But I was wondering if you'd come down to the firm of Matson and Tyler. Well, I could send a police car for you, yeah.
Oh, a police car? Oh, how thrilling. Oh, have you found the hoodlum?
I'll let you know just as soon as you get here. I'll send a man by in about 5 minutes to pick you up.
Say, Lieutenant, is there going to be a lineup? And shall I bring my magnifying glass?
Yes, you can bring your magnifying glass. Yes, thank you. Goodbye. Thanks for the use of your phone, Mr. Matson. We'll talk to your partner now.
Tyler speaking. Arnold. I see. Sure, I understand. Yeah, thanks for letting me know.
You know, Herb, she talks your arm off, but it's worth it if she can identify you. Herb, unless your church client is broad-minded about obstructing justice, I'd say you have grounds for voiding a contract.
Tried to catch you, Lieutenant, but you were already in the elevator. I called Ken to tell him that you were on your way down here, and...
You what?
I know, it was stupid of me. I should have known that he'd run. But it wasn't because he killed Evelyn. He just couldn't do it, Lieutenant. Besides, he had no reason.
What do you mean he couldn't do it?
Well, he's afraid. He has these fears. Now, you've heard of claustrophobia.
Yes?
It started for Ken in Korea. He was a prisoner of war. Spent 2 years of his life crammed into a dark little hovel with 25 others. They tortured him. He saw his friends clubbed and shot. He's a sensitive man. He just hasn't forgotten it.
You mean he fears police questioning and the possibility of being locked up?
Not only that, he has a deathly fear of weapons. Anything that might inflict pain or destroy life. I can't even believe that he would touch a gun, let alone fire it.
Mr. Matson, Korea was a long time ago.
Ken hasn't shown much progress, Lieutenant. The truth is, his condition's even getting worse. It's broken up his marriage.
Arnold, dear.
Where's the court? What's the matter? Did I kill somebody's punchline?
I think you just wrote one.
Naomi, this is Mr. Maris, Lieutenant Weston, gentleman, my wife.
How do you do?
Lieutenant? From the police? I suppose that means our golf date is off. What did you do this time? Park in front of a fire hydrant?
Evelyn's been killed.
That explains the police car in front of the building. But I had no idea. I thought the woman was some kind of a crank.
What woman?
The one in the parking lot. She's going over all the cars with a magnifying glass. She said she was tracking down a murderer.
I'll tell Mrs. Powell where you are, Lieutenant. Oh, and in case you need me, I'll be at the office. Mrs. Matson?
Herb, please.
Questioning a suspect determined to avoid being questioned can be a long and difficult process, during which the fugitive grows increasingly desperate and dangerous. I could only hope that Tyler would be found before his flight led to some tragic eventuality that could obscure the truth forever. There was a surprise waiting for me when I returned to my office.
I came to see you, Mr. Maris, because I know you help people who are in trouble.
Mrs. Tyler, if you know where your husband is, you can best help him by telling the police.
But I promised him I wouldn't. Believe me, Mr. Maris, he didn't kill that girl.
What makes you so sure?
Because I know Ken. I know just what he's like. And I love him.
Then why are you separated from him?
Mr. Maris, do you know what it's like to be married to someone who has claustrophobia? Ken and I could never travel. We couldn't visit friends. We could never even go to a play or the movies. Ken would suddenly become restless, and then we'd have to get out before he felt that all the walls were closing in on him. But I don't want a divorce from him, Mr. Maris. I want to see him get better. Will you please help us?
Not while he's on the run.
Suppose Ken agreed to surrender to the police after you talked to him.
Do you think you could get him to do that?
We've already discussed it, Mr. Maris. He said he would do it if he could talk to you first, alone.
Well, in that case, maybe we can work something out. Let me call Lieutenant Weston.
The first positive step towards locating Ken Tyler had been accomplished with relative ease. Persuading Lieutenant Weston to let Tyler surrender to me was more complicated. He consented, but not without violent argument, during which he made completely and emphatically clear the extent of my responsibilities under the law.
Tyler? Where are you? Nobody came with me. I'm all alone.
Over here, Mr. Maris. Thanks for coming. I need your help.
So your wife told me.
Police think I did it.
All the police want is the truth. For instance, the old lady who saw you says that you struck Evelyn.
That's ridiculous. I only met with Evelyn to give her a lead on a new job, or maybe some cash to tide her over.
All right, then. Tell Lieutenant Weston what really happened.
And Weston?
Of the police.
What is this?
You told your wife.
I told Peggy nothing. I agreed to meet you, nobody else. What, no cops, no deals, nothing like that.
Didn't she tell you that Lieutenant Weston had made arrangements with the DA for your surrender?
My what? Oh, I knew Peggy would pull a trick like this.
She gave me her word that if I met with you
You
first...
can forget my wife's word, Mr. Maris. She changes with every situation.
You're not in love with her.
Mr. Maris, my wife and I do love her. It's reciprocal, I know that. Sometimes I can't help but wonder which is more constant, the love or the jealousy. I have about as much chance of convincing her as I do the police of my noble intentions with Evelyn.
Ken, I know this will be hard for you to understand. I believe you. But I can't help you until you give yourself up.
That's your deal? Ken! Ken, don't be a fool!
There are times when all a dime can buy is trouble. This was one of them. I called Lieutenant Weston, but it wasn't a call I relished making. After persuading him to bend the rules for Ken Tyler, I'd fumbled badly and let him down.
Oh, well, fine. Wonderful. Congratulations, counselor.
I said I'm sorry. Don't try to set me up for life.
I'm saving that for Tyler. Oh, and I asked Matson for the company books.
What for?
Oh, we found 2 mink coats in Evelyn's apartment and all kinds of jewelry. Now, she couldn't afford that stuff on her pay. You better forget it, Herb.
Not just yet. I'd like to talk to somebody that isn't personally connected with him. Somebody with a more objective viewpoint.
Like his doctor, maybe?
Hey, that's an idea.
Me and my bright ideas. His name is Dr. Ralph Sterling. He's in the book. Oh, and do me a favor when you see him, will you, Herb?
What's that?
Show him your stubborn streak. Maybe you can take it out.
The trouble is, Mr. Maris, that patients like Ken Tyler can't really be helped until they start helping themselves.
And Ken hasn't been doing that.
I'd rather say that he's been overwhelmed by obstacles.
Would you consider his wife an obstacle?
Well, Peggy's tried to understand, but well, she's young and immature in certain ways.
Like being jealous of the other people in Ken's life?
I'm afraid so. You see, the more erratic his behavior, the more insecure and possessive she becomes. Then, of course, he becomes resentful of her suspicions, thinks he's being policed.
What hope is there?
I haven't given up a patient yet, Mr. Maris. Ken needs a push in the right direction, but gentle.
So that he feels he's doing it himself.
Exactly. For instance, if he could be persuaded to endure some form of restraint associated with his past, or to overcome his fear of weapons, then he might gain enough self-confidence to conquer the rest of his fears alone.
I see. Is there anything else, Doctor?
Yes. Warn the police to be careful. He won't let them put him in a cage if he can prevent it. He might kill himself first.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. The interview with Dr. Sterling had only confirmed my suspicion of the seriousness of Ken Tyler's condition and convinced me that unless action were taken immediately to prevent it, tragedy was inevitable. I felt the burden of responsibility settling firmly upon my shoulders. The next few hours could decide a man's fate.
Well, hello, Mr. Maris.
Matson, your office told me I'd find you here. Good day for tennis.
I'm the world's worst player. I just come to the club when I'm feeling under pressure. It kind of helps me to relax. Excuse me. Over here, Naomi.
Mr. Maris,
Miss Matson.
the office just called.
Oh, thank you, dear.
By the way, Mr. Matson, where were you on Thursday when Evelyn was murdered?
Mr. Maris, the police say that Evelyn Burnett was shot between 1:15 and 1:20. I've already told them I was talking to my husband on the phone at that time. We were discussing our plans for the evening, weren't we, dear?
Arguing would be more accurate. You know, Mr. Maris, for the first time in my life, I'm grateful for a family squabble. Well, I've got to make that call.
We're having cocktails at 5, Mr. Maris. I hope you can join us.
Thank you, Mrs. Matson. I'll certainly try.
Coming, Peggy? I'll be right along.
See you.
I didn't want to come here, Mr. Maris, but Naomi insisted.
Well, frankly, Mrs. Tyler, I'm glad you're here. Why did you tell me your husband agreed to go to the police with me?
Because for once I wanted him to do something to try and help himself.
By tricking both of us? This isn't a game of manipulation, Peggy. A man's life is at stake. Don't you see that you created a situation that could only end in mutual distrust? Now, you listen to me. I've seen Dr. Sterling. He says that Ken will never give himself up. He'll kill himself first.
Oh.
I've got to talk to him, Peggy. It's his last chance. Have you been in touch with him?
Yes. Some time ago, we bought some land up in the mountains, just a cabin site. Ken thought we could spend weekends there. I'll tell you how to get there, Mr. Maris.
Ken! Be reasonable!
I know you don't have a gun. Nobody's here with me. Besides, I didn't climb halfway up a mountain to argue with you.
Peggy told you I was here?
That's right. Twice in 2 days she's broken her word to you. She failed you, Ken. What about Evelyn? She failed you too?
Yeah, she failed me. Thought she got a bum deal when Arnold fired her. I tried to help her, but she ridiculed me. When I offered her some money, she told me to leave her alone, to get out.
All right. You didn't kill her. Who did? You've had plenty of time to think about it. Arnold Matson? Peggy?
My wife? My partner?
Well, somebody was keeping Evelyn of very high style to protect their interest and hers.
That's only theory.
It might be more than theory when the books are audited. And of course, your wife...
Peggy didn't do it.
She lied to you twice, didn't she? And she was jealous of Evelyn. Ken, you can't stay here. You know your condition makes it impossible for you to hide. The police are bound to catch up with you.
They'll never take me.
Whoever killed Evelyn is counting on that.
I'll take my chances.
Dr. Sterling tells me you don't have many more chances. You've got to overcome your fears before it's too late. Before you destroy yourself. It's simple as that, isn't it? How about taking a real chance and trying to help yourself? I think I've got an idea that might work. I haven't failed you, have I, Ken?
What do you want me to do?
I said cancel the order. All right, if there's any question, call me at the club. Goodbye.
Mr. Maris, I didn't expect you back so soon.
We talk somewhere.
Oh, it's all right. I've told them all about Ken. Did you see him?
He wasn't there, Ben.
Matson speaking. Ken. Ken, where are you? What? Yes, he's here. I see. Of course, if your mind's made up.
Let me talk to him.
Ken, Peggy wants... Ken? He hung up.
Why did he call?
He called your office, Mr. Maris. They told him you were here. He said he's had time to think about Evelyn's murder. He claims he knows who did it.
Arnold who?
I don't know. He's going to call Lieutenant Weston. He thinks maybe the police will agree to his terms.
How do you mean?
The information in return for a promise that he won't be taken down to the station. He'll meet you and Weston at the cabin site 2 hours from now.
Then I'd better be getting back to the office. Lieutenant Weston will be waiting for me. Excuse me.
Arnold.
We've got to talk, Ken.
I told you on the phone I'm not saying anything till Maris and the police get here.
What do you say to them?
Enough to keep me out of jail. I can clear myself now.
Now, listen to me, Ken. Nobody saw Evelyn's murder, and I know you didn't do it. Unless we're both sensible, the scandal could ruin the firm.
Sensible?
I'll give you an alibi, Ken. So will Naomi. I'll see to that.
You perjure yourself?
It's the best way for all of us.
Best way for what? What has he told you?
He wants to make a deal. He'll supply me an alibi if I keep quiet.
You always bungle everything. What good would lying about it do now?
Haven't you already lied to the police?
Someone had to protect the company.
No, Naomi. Someone had to protect you. That lie about the telephone call wasn't for my benefit. It gave you an alibi.
For killing Evelyn.
The gun, Ken. Remember how you feel about him? You're to blame for this, Arnold. If you were as good a husband as you are a roue, this wouldn't have happened. That's right, Ken. I made Arnold fire Evelyn. But then she threatened to contact Herbert Maris because of the scandal with his client, and I couldn't let her do that.
Oh, Naomi.
Hold it! You're under arrest, Matson. You too, Mrs. Matson.
Something like a gun in the right hands, is there, Ken? I'm surprised they kept you in that concentration camp.
I am too. Who's he?
friend of mine. And yours? Lieutenant Weston of the police.
Ken! Oh, Ken, I'm so proud of you.
Peggy, I'm so glad you're here. Things are going to be much different now.
Lieutenant, someone's outside to see you.
Huh? Oh, sure. Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Tyler.
Yes.